What's going on, L-Cross fam? Welcome to a new series for the channel. We will be going over Dead by Daylight, all the chapters, all the killers, all the survivors, and we'll be going through their story. We'll be going through tomes. We'll be covering a little bit of Dead by Daylight, a little bit of everything about Dead by Daylight. I want to start with the most recent chapter here. We're going to be taking a look at Killer. We're going to be taking a look at the most recent killer for the Dead by Daylight. For the Dead by Daylight game here, and let's go ahead and take a look at the Trickster here. I think this killer is absolutely amazing. Amazing move by Dead by Daylight to bring kind of a pop theme to it, a new look for the killer. If you're familiar, if you're familiar with Dead by Daylight, the killers, that are in here, that are in the game. Little tidbit, before we get into the Trickster, little tidbit, if you don't already know, Dead by Daylight is going to have Resident Evil. I'm not sure who. I'm pretty sure I know who we're going to be getting, but I can't wait for that. We're going to be getting Resident Evil. There's talk of Spawn coming in to Dead by Daylight, so really excited about that as well. So really excited about some of the big crossovers for Dead by Daylight. And if you want to see any gameplay, head over to my Twitch channel. All the links are down below or in my about section. Feel free to check that out. And again, thank you for all the love and support. I greatly appreciate it. And let's go ahead and get into this. He's getting a little bored, so let's go ahead and talk about him. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the Trickster here. All right, so the Teachables for the Trickster, Starstruck Teachable. The Trickster perk. Unlocking this perk makes it available to in the blood web of all killers. Your unmatched showmanship dazzles all. While carrying a survivor, any other survivors within your terror radius suffer from the exposed status effect. The effect persists for 26 seconds on survivors who leave your terror radius, as well as those within the radius when you hook or release the carried survivor. Starstruck has a cooldown of 60 seconds once a survivor is no longer carried. Enjoy this moment. Few get so close. Ji-Woon Hak. I think that's how you say his name. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. If that's not how you say his name, correct me down in the comments. May be unlocked the blood web of the Trickster from level 30 plus or in the Shrine of Secrets. All right, so that's Starstruck, fam. Pretty interesting perk. We'll see if I use it. And again, comment if you comment on any of these perks. Comment if you would use them in your killer builds. All right, so Hex Crowd Control. Unlocking this perk makes it available in the blood web of all killers. A hex that ensures those lesser than you are properly herded. Okay. The entity blocks a window for 10 seconds after a survivor performs a rushed vault through it. The hex effects persist as long as the related totem is standing. So survivors will be gunning to take that totem down. But 10 seconds, that's not too long. I mean, that's not too terribly long. Let me know what you think about that one, fam. I don't use hexes too often in my builds. Just because of my play style, so I don't use hexes too often. You have no control. People like you never did. Ooh, that's chilling. That's chilling. Again, so this one may be unlocked in the blood web of the Trickster from level 35 plus or in the Shrine of Secrets. All right, let's see. No Way Out, also a great game if you haven't checked it out. No Way Out. I wonder where they got that one from. And actually, it's a co-op game. Anyway, back to where we were. Had a look at the kitty moment there for a second. Okay, unlocking this perks obviously makes it available in the blood web for all killers. You're not going to just let anyone into the VIP room. After hooking the survivor for the first time, No Way Out gains a token. When the last generator is repaired, the entity blocks both exit gate switches for 10 seconds, plus an additional 4 seconds for each token in your possession. That sound, when you bleed, let me hear it again. Ooh, chilling. All right, maybe unlocked in the blood web of the Trickster from level 40 plus or in the Shrine of Secrets. So there's a progression here. So level 30, level 35, and level 40. So it's not just at level 35 and you unlock all the perks. So I don't know if Dead by Daylight is changing that or what's going on. Looks like the difficulty to play Trickster is fairly easy. The attributes 4.4 meters per second, 24 meters is the radius, and average height. Base terror radius is 24 meters and max base speed is 4.4. All right, so Showstopper is the power, a mesmerizing skill honed through a lifetime of practice. Ji-Woon unleashes a fury of knives with rapid fire speed. Showstopper, start the trial with 60 blades. Press and hold the power button to wind up and enter the throw state. While in the throw state, tap the attack button to throw the single blade, or hold down the attack button to unleash a fury of blades. Throwing a fury increases control and throw rate will decrease while decreasing movement speed. Restock blades at lockers. Okay, so yeah, same with all killers that have a weapon. Well, with most killers, like the Huntress. Okay, so laceration meter. A survivor's laceration meter increases each time they're hit by a blade. Once the meter is filled, they will lose a health state, either becoming injured or downed. A survivor's laceration meter will gradually decrease if they have not been hit by a blade for a short time. Hitting a survivor with a basic attack will immediately decrease their laceration meter. Special ability main event. Each blade hit fills the event meter. Once full, main event can be activated by pressing the ability button. In this mode, the Trickster automatically throws unlimited blades for the duration of the main event. His throw rate is significantly increased and his movement speed does not decrease after each throw. The main event can be canceled by pressing the ability button. Doing so resets the event meter to 0 and initiates a cooldown on Showstopper. All right, so we've gone over the perks, we've gone over the power, we've gone over the attributes, the difficulty. All right, and again, this is the Trickster from Dead by Daylight's All Kill chapter. All right, so a little backstory on the Trickster here. Ji-Woon thrived under the attention of others, energized by every eye that watched him and every tongue that spoke his name. Amidst the prestige, he had only one desire: more. Even as a child, he found ways to draw crowds. Working at his family's restaurant, he attracted business with spectacles he performed using throwing knives. Gullible tourists believed this was a traditional South Korean experience, gladly parting with their money to witness it. Ji-Woon's father spent the restaurant's earnings on dancing and vocal lessons for his son, pushing him to attain the fame he never could. Ji-Woon did not disappoint. After years showcasing his abilities to nobodies at talent shows, he hit the track to stardom. Yoon-Jin Lee, a producer of Mighty One Entertainment, recruited Ji-Woon into her training program. He transferred to a dormitory in Seoul where the 14 hours a day he was crafted into a star, taught how to move and sing, how to carry himself with the right balance of confidence and modesty. Draining as the process was, it worked. Yoon-Jin selected Ji-Woon to join the band No Spin, bringing a raw energy to their tracks. Fame was almost immediate. Ji-Woon lived in a daze of interviews and adoration, and though the frenzied schedule exhausted his bandmates, he was invigorated. Each day was an affirmation that was greater than the mediocrity society spewed out. But over time, The champagne grew stale. When he looked at his fans, he saw their joy and envy split 5 ways. Thinned out between each band member. The validation that had surged through him left a desperate yearning for more. Ji-woon kept impressions, mimicking a charm long buried under loathing. He recorded the latest No Spin album with his bandmates, never missing a beat. After a lengthy lunch break, he returned to the studio to discover fate had granted him a gift. The scent of burning wires was unmistakable. He rushed to the control room, finding the door blocked by fallen speakers. On the other side, his bandmates pounded on the door, their cries accompanied by the crackling of flames. Ji-woon called to them, dashing to the speakers, grabbing one and stopping. He froze. Each breath was a conscious, deliberate process requiring all his attention. The nearby cries hardly audible until, slowly, he backed away. And then he heard it. They were screaming his name as they burnt, screaming for him to save them. Ji-woon, 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 Ji-woon hak. It was almost beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing he ever heard. When the fire crew arrived, his tears were genuine. Ji-woon was celebrated as a tragic figure, a hero who did all he could in a futile attempt to save his friends. Yoon-jin paraded him through interviews until it was time to rebrand. He was reborn as the Trickster, a solo artist who produced his own songs, sporting a soft heart beneath a wild exterior. But away from the concert setups and television stages, something darker grew. He targeted those who lived alone, coming to them in the night. The first was a college music student with a captivating voice. Ji-woon woke him with a baseball bat to the skull, binding his arms and legs, gagging him with a rag duct, taped into his mouth. He tortured him for hours, dissecting him alive. Yet there was something missing, a sound, a connection. He wanted to hear the victim's wondrous voice pleading as he cut his belly open, but all he received was muffled cries through a rag. He learned and adjusted. Victims had to be abducted, driven to an abandoned building where he could let their voices carry unrestrained emotion. He made music from them, prodding in the right places to evoke different types of shrieks and howls, stabbing the quadratus labrum elicited a long guttural wail, while slashing the carotid artery created a sound similar to a cat being strangled. There was honesty in their suffering. Ji-woon recorded each session, synthesizing and working them into his songs, hiding them behind layers of melodies. He was elated with his work. He left hints for police, arranging a mink boa from a recent photo shoot around a victim's slashed throat. For his next killing, he removed the teeth from a man that a boxer in one of his music videos was without. During a particularly audacious plea for attention, he killed a fan he had met during a VIP meetup, replacing their eyes with diamond cufflinks and writing, "I have seen God," in blood across their chest. Each scene was a dazzling spectacle. Between music and murder, Ji-woon's work was discussed globally. However, as violence became his preferred art style, his music career took a hit. Revenue was down, and the Mighty One executives pointed their fingers at him. Yoon-jin, with professional fury, came to his defense, but she was outnumbered. It was decided that Ji-woon could no longer self-produce his songs. The decision was devastating. His tracks fused genuine humanity into music, yet executives rejected anything that wasn't generic and expected. And so be it. If they couldn't understand his art, he wouldn't incorporate them into it until they did. He had 3 months until he was to perform a private show for the Mighty One's board members. these months to plan his magnum opus. He transferred obscene amounts of money to a veterinarian in exchange for canisters of nitrous oxide, then bribed the stage technician of Mighty One's private theater for access to the room. The celebrity granted him a benefit of the doubt no regular person could conceive. When the show was ready, gas seeped into the room as executives and stagehands awaited Ji-woon, conveniently running behind schedule. When he arrived, half-conscious bodies were splayed in their seats and crawling across the floor. He worked quickly, binding everyone, pausing only when he came to Yoon Jin, the woman who had plucked him from a mud hole and set him on the path he deserved. She would be rewarded, granted special access to the coming display of wonder. Even under sedation, she fought a raging storm within her, far stronger than the others. He propped her up as the lone audience member, prying her eyes open. The others, sniveling and sobbing, were brought on the stage to perform their final act. Within a contemptible sneer, he slapped makeup onto their faces and shone stage lights upon them. They became his instruments. To the sound of self-produced melodies, he tortured them gracefully, dashing from one body to another, conducting the operatic crescendo from their wailings. They shouted, whimpered, screamed, cried for their loved ones, cried for their mothers. It was a magnificent outpouring of emotion, of what it meant to be human, and they did it with the eyes fixed on Ji-woon. Viscera drained from the stage until, with the toss of his throwing knife, the final human instrument fell silent and the music stopped. Covered in sweat and blood and exhausted, Ji-woon looked at Yoon Jin and bowed. Curtain call. He'd attained perfection. With the blade in hand, he made his way to Yoon Jin, prepared to tie up loose ends before the credits rolled. But as he reached her, the fog, from where he didn't know, but it billowed around the damp, cool, comfortable. He saw the grand stage, hospitals and temples, forests and slaughterhouses, on an eternal plain adorned with rusted hooks, sustained by millions of eyes that would watch him, run from him, experience him. All he had to do was accept, become an implement of the fog, and most importantly, make them scream. Encore! So that, fam, is the Trickster. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. Obviously, we will be coming back with the Survivor Yoon Jin. So hope you enjoyed this. Again, hit that like, comment, share, subscribe, and we shall see you in the next part or VOD. Until then, fam, peace.